for today, Tuesday, April 14th, 2020. The time is 10:13 a.m.
Mr. President, Fernando Campos, Executive Officer. Roll call for today. We have Commissioner Caloza, Commissioner James, and Commissioner Davis in the boardroom. We also have Commissioner Villegas dialing in remotely from her office inside City Hall. And we also have Commissioner Garcia dialing in remotely from her home. Commissioner, or President James, you do have a quorum. We currently do not have any public comment cards or anyone from the general public that would like to speak on general public. We have no commentary under the Neighborhood Council comment section. We also do not have any speaker cards on any of the items for today's agenda.
Okay, well, as we normally do, Dr. Campos, I will check in with you periodically during the meeting to see if we have any speakers that find their way into the queue. Let's go ahead and take care of our housekeeping items. We have a requested continuance for agenda item number 8, and I know that we have a letter that we've received on number 8 as well, but we have a let's see what else I have, but we have a request to continue item number 8 from today until Tuesday, May 5th, 2020. By my calculation, I think that's 3 weeks from today, Tuesday, May 5th, 2020. So that'll be the order on agenda item number 8. Agenda item number 12 is an authority for expenditure. Recycled Aggregate Materials Company, Street Services, Streets LA, and the Office of Accounting are requesting board approval and an execution of an authority for expenditure in the amount of $8,000, the new adjusted amount, $608,000, to encumber additional funds for this fiscal year for disposal and recycling services provided to Streets LA. Apologize for that. And Ms. Gina Macha, are you available for us?
Yes, good morning, Commissioners. Gina Mancha, Bureau of Street Services. This is just a request to increase the encumbrance, the original encumbrance, slightly by an additional $8,000. At the beginning of the year, we do a projection of how much we anticipate spending on these types of services, and it was just shy of $8,000. The $608,000 total after the adjustment is in line with prior year encumbrances. So the final invoice happened to be $608,000 from Ramco, and we need to increase the encumbrance to pay the final invoice.
Okay. Any questions on agenda item number 12? Any questions from Commissioner Villegas? Nope. Any questions from Commissioner Garcia?
No.
Okay. I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 12, seconded by Commissioner Caloza and Commissioner Davis. Any objection? Any objection from Commissioner Garcia? No objection from Commissioner Garcia? Okay. And no objection from Commissioner Villegas?
No.
Okay, then that'll be the order on agenda item number 12. Any issues sending 12 forthwith? We'll send number 12 forthwith. Agenda item number 13, Authority for Expenditure Petrochem Materials Innovation, LLC. Again, Streets LA and the Office of Accounting are requesting approval and execution of an authority for expenditure in the amount of $308,833.55 to encumber funds to rent equipment. Authorize myself or 2 members of the Board of Public Works to execute the contract after approval as to form has been obtained from the city attorney, and I should say authorize the president of the board, which is what the agenda says, or it does not have my name, or 2 members of the Board of Public Works to execute the contract after approval as to form has been obtained from the city attorney. Ms. Mancha on number 13 as well.
Yes. Good morning once again. Gina Mancha, Bureau of Street Services. This is for rental from PMI to rent a power screener unit that's needed for asphalt plant 1 in order to meet production levels. And we had John Saponi, the division manager for the Street Renewal Division and Street Services, and Ethan Wong from the Bureau of Engineering that were supposed to answer any technical questions about the need for rental and what the unit actually does. Somehow there was a mix-up this morning as far as their ability to use the Zoom, and I've been trying to contact them to give them the sites that they can log into. Is it possible to move this item more toward the end, and while I ensure that they can actually call into the meeting?
Of course. So we'll put item number 13 on hold, and we'll come back, and if you want, Ms. Mancha, you can just send Dr. Campos an email if it becomes ready before the end of the meeting, and we can call it before the end as well.
Okay, thank you so much.
Kevin, we have Ethan on the line here.
And also John Saponi.
Oh, okay, great, it worked out.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Mr. Jordan. Although it was so loud in here, I could not understand what Mr. Jordan said, but I sensed that it was something good. So does that mean we're ready to go forward, Ms. Mancha?
Yes, we are, thank you.
Okay, go ahead.
So, like I mentioned, this is to rent a power screener unit for asphalt plant 1, and the amount of the AFE is $308,833.55 for this fiscal year's rental costs. And if you have any follow-up questions as to why the rental is needed and some background history on that, Ethan Wong can answer those questions. And if you have any questions about what the power screener is, how it works, how it's needed for asphalt production, then John Saponi can answer your questions.
Okay, we'll start with Mr. Saponi, then we can go to Mr. Wong. Mr. Saponi, you can provide that background for us for the record.
Good morning, Commissioners. John Saponi, Streets LA. The screener basically is a device, a machine that takes the reclaimed asphalt that we cold mill from the street. It is taken to our 25th and Harriet location where this machine is located. The machine is a vital part of our 400 ton per hour rate that is needed at the asphalt plant. What happens is the reclaimed asphalt is placed into this machine where it's screened to a fine material that we use in our mix of 50% wrap, we call it, which is reclaimed asphalt. The need is there due to reduce the need for virgin materials, and is one of the reasons that the asphalt plant was made to recycle the material that we use from the street into the mix that goes back. So it is a vital part of our operation.
Okay, thank you, sir. Any questions for Mr. Saponi from Streets LA? Okay, and we have a representative from PMI? Oh, I'm sorry, from engineering. Is that Mr. Wong? Okay.
Yes, it's supposed to be Ethan Wong.
Oh, okay. Is he here?
Yeah, yes. I'm here. Sorry, Commissioners.
Oh, there you are. Oh, good to see you, sir. Yes, congratulations.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
So, yeah, the screener is basically used in conjunction with the new asphalt plants at Olympic. Basically, why the screener is needed is to keep up to the maximum production of 400 tons per hour. It was discovered during the testing phase that screening the material prior to introducing it into the mix produced a better mix and was better for the overall asphalt equipment to run efficiently and run at max speed.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Wong. Any questions? We'll start with you, Commissioner Villegas.
No questions.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Villegas. Commissioner Garcia, any questions from you?
No questions either.
Okay, thank you. I don't see any questions on the queue. Oh, Commissioner Davis, I'm sorry. Commissioner Davis. Oh, no questions on the queue in the room either. Then I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 13, seconded by Commissioner Caloza. Any objection? Commissioner Villegas, any objection? You can just wave at us if there's none.
No
Okay,
objections.
thank you. Oh, actually, we need a verbal. Commissioner Garcia?
No objections.
Okay, thank you. Then without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 13. Thank you all, Mr. Wong, Mr. Saponi, Ms. Mancha. Any issue sending number 13 forthwith? We'll send number 13 forthwith. Agenda item number 1 is the approval of 2 journals of meetings, Tuesday, March 31, 2020, and Friday, April 3rd, 2020. Is there a second to my motion that we approve the meeting minutes from those 2 meetings? By Commissioner Davis. Any objection? Without objection, we'll approve the meeting minutes from those 2 meetings for agenda item number 1. Agenda item number 2 is a Council District 1 from the Bureau of Engineering. Construction order emergency sewer repairs, Banks Court Drive project, Clark Contracting Corporation, on-call emergency sewer and storm drain repairs contract list, recommending that the board authorize a construction budget of $674,682, which includes contingency for the emergency sewer repairs Banks Court Drive project. Secondly, authorize the city engineer to award the project to the lowest responsive and responsible bidder, Clark Contracting Corporation, in compliance with the established procedures of the on-call emergency sewer and storm drain repairs contract. And third, authorize the city engineer to issue construction orders and revised construction orders for up to the authorized construction budget for the project to Clark Contracting Corporation. Dr. Campos, do we have any callers on the queue at this point?
Let me just double check that. Fernando Campos, Executive Officer. Any callers from the general public? I have 3 landlines, one 1595 ending in 1595. Any commentary? Hearing none. Next landline I have is 4429 ending in 4429. None. The last landline I have is line ending in 2161. Line ending in 2161. Any public commentary? Hearing none. And then 6728. Landline ending in 6728. Mr. President, no commentary on this item.
Okay, then let's go ahead and go to Mr. Jensen on agenda item number 2.
Good morning, Commissioners. This is Brad Jensen with Wastewater Conveyance Engineering Division, Bureau of Engineering. The Banks Court project, on September 11th of last year, the City Council adopted a motion directing the Bureau of Sanitation to replace the existing undersized 4-inch sewer in Banks Court Drive with a new sewer that meets current city standards. Around 1940, the city and its underlying sewer assets were deeded to the City of Los Angeles. Approximately 11 properties are connected to a 4-inch diameter sewer. This 4-inch sewer runs along Banks Court and through private property and connects to an existing 8-inch sewer north of El Paso Drive. The current undersized 4-inch sewer must be replaced and upsized to provide capacity for the sewage discharged from the properties and eliminate overflows. This project will construct 441 feet of a new 8-inch sewer, 3 maintenance holes, and reconnect the homes to the new sewer. Proposed sewer will outlet into an existing 12-inch sewer in Avenue 50. While not part of the scope of this contract, we've coordinated with the Department of Water and Power, who will replace their water line following our construction project, and Bureau of Street Services, who will repave the street after our underground work has been completed. Commissioner Caloza approved this project on February 10th of this year and approved the project to be advertised onto the emergency on-call list. For the Bureau of Engineering's bidding procedures for using the on-call ESR contract, the request for bid proposals were issued to the top 5 contractors on February 18th. 4 bid proposals were received and opened on February 28th. Clark's bid of $562,235 was the lowest bid received. The Program Review Committee from the Bureau of Sanitation approved the total budget of $1,594,000 for this project on September 11th of 2019. The construction contract duration for this project is 90 days. And so based upon the bids that were submitted for this project, the Bureau of Engineering staff believes the bid is reasonable. And in view of the BOE's bidding procedures using the on-call emergency sewer request list, the Bureau of Engineering staff recommends that the board declare Clark the first low bidder to be the lowest responsible bidder, and authorize the city engineer to issue the construction orders and revised construction orders to Clark for this project. I can answer any questions if you have any.
Thank you, Mr. Jensen. Thank you for the explanation. Any questions? We'll start with Commissioner Villegas.
I'm good, thank you. No
Thank
questions.
you, Commissioner Villegas. Commissioner Garcia.
No questions either.
Okay, thank you. No questions in the boardroom either, other than what's going on with our audio. No, we were good before you went there. One moment, everybody. Okay, can people hear me? Hello? Okay, we're good. Thank you, Dr. Campos. Oh, thank you. That's the reason for the work. Got it. Okay, thank you. We've got a hand raised from, oh no, it's somebody working on their computer. All right, so no questions. I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 2, seconded by Commissioner Caloza. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 2. Let's go to agenda item number 3, sanitation, a sole source purchase order in Council District 11, Agilent Technologies Incorporated for a gas chromatograph mass spectrometer system replacement at the Hyperion Water Reclamation Plant. You know, just reviewing an inventory sheet of all the various types of equipment at Hyperion must produce some very interesting names of items. Today we're working on a chromatograph. Recommending that the board approve the selection of Agilent Technologies Incorporated to be the sole source supplier to replace an existing gas chromatograph and mass spectrometer system in the Environmental Monitoring Division's semi-volatile organic compounds and base neutral and acid unit. And secondly, authorize sanitation to request the Department of General Services to create and enter into a sole source one-time purchase order with Agilent Technologies Incorporated, that's a sole source one-time purchase order, for the procurement and installation of the above referenced GCMS system with a budget not to exceed $200,000. Mr. Juma, we have you available for us. Dr. Campos, we have Tom Juma available.
Yes, he was on the line a little earlier. Mr. Juma, Tom?
Can you hear me now?
There we
Yes.
go.
Okay. Good morning, Commissioners, Legal Counsel, and Executive Officer. My name is Tom Juma. I'm with LA Sanitation. We are requesting the purchase of a replacement gas chromatograph mass spectrometer system at a cost of $200,000. This is a replacement covered under the Capital Replacement Program. This instrument will be used to analyze organic compounds as required by all the 4 city water decommission plant permits. If we don't purchase this instrument, we run the risk of not meeting our regulatory requirements of analyzing these compounds, and the city could incur fines because of that. And the cost of outsourcing the analysis would also be very, very high. We are also asking that we sole source the purchase to Agilent Technologies. And the reason being, currently all our GC systems are from Agilent. So they share a lot of the parts and the system that we have currently. And we are also very familiar with the software. So integrating this system into our current, integrating this new instrument into our current system would be a lot easier. I'll take any questions now.
Thank you, sir. Any questions regarding the need to purchase this equipment? Mr. Jordan, do we have your okay regarding this one-time sole source procurement?
Yes, I concur with the Bureau's recommendation.
Thank you. Commissioner Villegas, any questions?
No, thanks. I don't have any questions.
Thank you. Commissioner Garcia?
No questions either.
Okay, thank you. No questions in the room. I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 3. Is there a second on number 3 by Commissioner Davis? Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 3. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
Agenda item number 4 from Streets LA. Requested tree removal in Council District 13. Dr. Campos, before I move along on this tree removal, would you check our queue to see if we have any public commentary in the line?
Happy to do so. Give me 1 second. Mr. President, the same landlines, 3 landlines that are still on hold or maybe listening in from the general public. Landline ending in 1595. Any commentary on item number 4? Hearing none. Landline ending in 4429. Item number 4. Any commentary? And last one, 2161. Landline ending in 2161. Hearing none. And then we just had someone just dial in. Landline ending in 1960. Landline ending in 1960. We are on item number 4. Would you like to make any commentary on this item? Hearing none, Mr. President, no.
All right, thank you. Continuing on to agenda item number 4, Streets LA. Requested tree removal at 5620 DeLongpre Avenue. Recommending that the board first find under the California Public Resources Code, Section 21166, and the state's Environmental Quality Act guidelines, Section 15162, on the basis of substantial evidence contained in the whole record, that since the city's prior certification of the EIR, the Environmental Impact Report, there have been no changes to the project, changes with respect to the circumstances under which the project is being undertaken, or new information of substantial importance concerning the project, which cause new significant environmental effects or a substantial increase in the severity of previously identified significant effects, and therefore no subsequent EIR, supplemental EIR, or other analysis is required for the project. Secondly, specify that Streets LA Urban Forestry Division, located at 1149 South Broadway, is custodian of the documents or other material that constitute the record of the proceedings upon which the board's decision is based. Third, review and approve the request for a fee permit for the removal of 6 trees, which include 2 Indian laurel fig trees, those are ficus trees, and 4 American sweet gum trees. Tree replacements are required. And fourth, concur with Streets LA determination that the site cannot feasibly accommodate all of the required replacement trees, and pursuant to Los Angeles Municipal Code Section 62.177C, as in Charlie, authorize the tree replacement guarantee fee to satisfy the board's tree planting requirement. Mr. Banuelos, are you with us on agenda item number 4?
Yes, good morning. Yes.
Good morning, go ahead.
Good morning, President James, Commissioners, Mr. Jordan, Dr. Campos.
Hector Banuel, the Streets LA Urban Forestry Division. We have before us is a request from the Holland Partner Group for a permit to remove 6 street trees for construction of an 8-story, 185-unit residential apartment complex at 5620 DeLongpre Avenue. This is located at the southwest corner of St. Andrews Place in the community of Hollywood. The applicant is challenged here with this location for material staging. They require material staging areas to be on DeLongpre Avenue. It's kind of a tightly bit property where the Streets LA met with the applicant and to determine just exactly, see if we can preserve any of the trees. There are 2 of the 6 trees are mature Indian laurel fig trees, which are worthy of preservation. However, due to the nature of the construction and the required access and material logistics in order to construct the building, the trees will impede the safe loading of materials and supplies to construct the project. And therefore, all the 6 trees need to be removed in order for construction to proceed. If approved, the applicant shall replace all the removed trees with 7 trees planted on DeLongpre Avenue and 1 tree planted on St. Andrews Place. In addition to that, the applicant shall also replace the trees with the tree replacement guarantee fee for 4 trees. So the Neighborhood Council, the Department of Neighborhood Empowerment, and the Council District 13 were notified of the tree removal permit request. Can anybody hear me okay?
Thank you, sir. None of these trees are in the protected tree category, correct?
That is correct. Yes, they're all street trees. 4 of the 6 trees are in pretty bad shape. They're not exactly very good-looking trees. Those are American sweet gums. They're all suppressed crowns, and they're just ailing, and they're not exactly worthy of preservation. The 2 ficus trees were, however, worthy. However, just the nature of construction and the impact that's going to occur to those trees, the trees have to be removed.
Okay, and the tree replacement fee will be paid because of the requirements of the project. There's no room for the number of replacement trees, the full number, correct?
Yes, that is correct. Yes, 8 total of 8 replacement trees shall be planted on site. Of the 4 shall be paid for with the tree planting guarantee fee. All the replacement trees shall be watered for a minimum period of 3 years to establishment.
All right, well, you are ending up still, though, with the net positive trees on the site. If you're putting in 8 after taking out the 6. Any other questions? Commissioner Villegas, any questions on agenda item number 4?
I'm good, thank you. No questions.
Thank you. Commissioner Davis on number 4.
I just want to make sure we've got the support of the council office on this action as well.
Mr. Banuelos, was the council office notified?
I'm sorry, the communication kind of cut. Were you asking if the council office have any objections to the project?
Yes.
None that I'm aware of.
Repeat that again, Hector. No response, right?
Yeah, I'm unaware of the council office objecting to the project. We didn't hear back from them. We're not sure if they're either for or against the project, but we did not receive any information from the council office opposed to the project.
Okay.
So you did not receive an objection either, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. Commissioner?
Yeah, and the division did not, Streets LA did not receive any opposition from anybody else that we're aware of as well.
All right, thank you. Commissioner Garcia?
Hi, thank you, President James. Hector, I do have a question, a clarifying question, actually. You're saying that 2 ficus trees will be removed for the staging area?
Well, one of them is actually in the footprint of the driveway, and one of them, yes, is for material staging.
And then after they're done with the construction, what's going to happen in that area?
They're going to replant 24-inch box-sized trees, or replace all the trees along the St. Andrews side.
I looked it up and I could see that it's a very narrow street, but is there a way that we can save at least this one tree that is only going to be removed for the purpose of just staging construction?
We looked into that, Commissioner, and there's just no way they can safely hoist the material with that tree there, just where the crane is supposed to be placed. They're going to have a crane placed up on the right-of-way, and in order to safely access the materials needed to construct the project, there's no way they can do it safely with the tree still being there.
It's just really a shame that we're gonna do it just for something temporary.
Yes, I agree. However, just in order to proceed with the construction, the contractor can't hoist the materials up safely. They have a lot of large apparatus, equipment, cranes, and the concrete booms going to be there simultaneously at times, performing all this construction activity. And unfortunately, the trees just cannot be retained.
Wow, okay, I get it. I know it's only one tree. I just would like to put in the consideration, and I'm not comfortable with removing like you say, a healthy tree just for a temporary situation. If this was going to be something into their design or a permanent part of the construction, I wouldn't have a problem. But I do have an issue with removing a tree just for temporary basis. So I don't know how that goes. I know that everybody else will agree, but I'm not okay with that.
Yes, like I said, Streets LA met with the developer, with the applicant, and discussed all the. We had the same concerns regarding the trees, especially the two ficus trees. Right, the liquid the tree gums were really underperforming. They're not really that significant in our opinion. However, the two ficus trees, we did make every attempt to save at least one, perhaps both of them. Unfortunately, we just could not see that the trees can be retained in place. There is a lot of construction activity planned in this area here. As you may know, it's a very large project, an 8-story, 185-unit residential apartment complex. So there's a lot of moving parts to the construction of this project.
Right. And will this tree, I know this is not part of today's, kind of agreement, but will the construction be for lower income, high? I'm just trying to figure out that, I know it's a tree, but I'm not comfortable removing it just for something temporary.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the percentage is on the lower income.
Okay, no problem.
I do know at the corner of DeLongpre and St. Andrews, it's one of the most densely populated areas in the city, and the need for housing is significant. I do not know, though, what the requirements are on this specific project.
We can't hear you.
What? Can't hear me?
We can't, it's very muffled.
Okay, one moment.
The audio isn't clear.
Yeah, let me work on my mask. I think that's part of the problem. Is this better?
Yep.
A little bit.
Yes,
Okay.
a little better.
All right. So, how are we doing, Dr. Campos, over there? Okay? Why don't you, let's leave it there and walk away and see what happens. Okay, we'll try again. Testing
much better.
1, 2, 3. Any better?
Yes.
Okay. So what I was saying, Commissioner Garcia, on this is that I don't know, and Mr. Jordan might. I don't know if I did not see it in our attachments, but it might be in there. What the affordable housing assessment was on this project. I do know that at DeLongpre and St. Andrews, it's one of the more densely populated areas of the city, second only maybe to Koreatown, parts of Koreatown. And so I know that the housing market in this area is in need. And so, Mr. Benuelos, for the one tree that is going to be temporarily, it's going to be taken out and then have it to be replaced, for this staging, what condition is that tree in?
It's in fair condition.
It's in what condition?
It's in fair condition. It's in good condition.
Good condition. Okay. I hear you. But I think did you get an answer to your question, Commissioner Garcia?
I did. I mean, overall, I did. Like I said, I'm sure this will still move forward, but just for the record, I'm objecting to this.
Okay, that's fine. I'm going to make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 4.
Mr. President, I did receive a commentary on item number 4 that's coming in through the Google form. If your commission would like, I can read it into the record. If you
But just to clarify, I'm objecting to the one tree being removed. The other ones, I know that they're already in bad health or need to be removed anyway. That's okay.
One moment.
Give me 1 second.
One moment. Still trying to figure out, Dr. Campos, what form that's coming in. Email, phone call,
I'm still
what?
trying to figure that out, Mr. President. If you can just give me 1 second, I'm just trying to figure this out. There is a commentary that came in,
I don't know yet.
and I'm trying to figure out which format. It's not landline coming in through Zoom, but we do have another commentary platform.
Why don't we hold this item so I can move on to other stuff, and then we'll come back?
It's item number 4, name is test, and the commentary is the documents for this item's, can I read it into the record, Mr. President?
Yes.
Is it okay? Fernando Campos, Executive Officer, we did receive a commentary through the Google format. This is the first time receiving this, so I'm just new at this, so give me a couple minutes.
Okay.
The name coming in is test. The commentary is this document for this item were only released 24 hours ago, not giving the Community Neighborhood Council nor the CFAC representative for CD13 sufficient time to review. Merely publishing a removal notice sheet does not provide enough background on the project to make informed opinions. At a very cursory glance, the project is already removing 33 mature trees on the site. Another 8 are slated to be removed on the parkway, 2 of which are 40-foot mature, large canopied, and healthy ficus providing shade and cooling. The reasons given the aesthetics, which goes against UFD's own policy for retaining trees, and the plant for so-called replacement are for the African fern pines and Australian willows, very small, thin canopied trees. We request that the 2 ficus be pruned and retained. End of commentary.
Okay, thank you. Given these issues that are put on the table regarding this item, Commissioner Davis has a request for you, Mr. Benuelos, and I think we need to put the item over so we can have these issues cleared up. Mr. Davis, go ahead.
Yes, Mr. Venuelos, I would love to have some feedback, specifically comments and remarks from the council district about this particular item.
Okay, so Mr. Benuelos, Commissioner Davis has requested that you go back to the council office to try and get some sort of response, if you could do that. And then the other issue is, I don't even know if the Community Forest Advisory Committee is meeting. Is that you, Commissioner Villegas? Are you in? I don't know that Ms. Malrich is here today. She may be working from home. Do we know if CFAC is even meeting, doing virtual meetings?
The last.
You know, I know they're not meeting. It's not on my calendar.
Okay. Commissioner, I'm sorry. Commissioner Garcia, was there something from you? No. Dr. Campos?
I was just going to say the last monthly meeting for CFAC was canceled. We did put out a notice indicating that it was canceled.
Okay. Look, we're in unusual times, and we've got a commenter that has raised the issue about the ability of folks to weigh in, and Commissioner Davis would obviously like to hear from the council office as well. I think we all would at this point. So, and we also Mr. Benuelos, if you or your team could find out to Commissioner Garcia's question, a question I would like to know as well for the record, regarding this project, is there an affordable housing component related to the project? My inclination would be to get an update on this item. Maybe it's ripe a week from today. We'll put it over for a week if we have answers. If we don't have answers, we'll put it over another week. But Dr. Campos, let's put this item over a week, and that will give. Do you have a way to let the commenter know that the item is going to be heard again next week? That's more than 24 hours notice. That's a week's notice.
On my end, I can definitely post this for next Tuesday, April 21st. We can work with the Bureau of Street Services to make the notifications.
Yeah,
and then
so
also,
even though we're going to have other items on the Tuesday agenda, for this item, we'll post it for the 21st.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Then that'll be the order on today's agenda item number 4. It will be continued to a week from today. Mr. Benuelos, hopefully you will have been able to get comment one way or the other from the council office, as well as information regarding any affordable housing component to the project. Thank you, Mr. Benuelos. Moving to agenda item number 5, Council District 14, requested contract amendment, Koreatown Youth and Community Center Sidewalk Restoration Services, recommending that the board authorize the Office of Community Beautification, subject to transfer and appropriation, to execute a contract amendment with Koreatown Youth and Community Center in the amount of $750,000 for community beautification services in Council District 14. And secondly, authorize the president or 2 members of the Board of Public Works to execute the contract amendment after approval as to form has been obtained by the city attorney. Mr. Roch, one moment. Dr. Campos, any commentary on number 5?
we do not for Nado Campos Executive Officer. We still have the landline ending in 2161 that's still on the line. If you'd like to make any commentary on item number 5, landline ending in 2161. Hearing no commentary, Mr. President, no comment.
Okay, on number 5, Mr. Roch.
Yeah, hi, good morning. Paul Roch with the Office of Community Beautification. This is a case where we received funding transferred from one of the council offices. The council, District 14, Jose Huizar, has transferred funding in the amount of $750,000 for restoration of sidewalks in Council District 14, including repair, planting, and beautification services. We're requesting board approval to amend an existing contract with Koreatown Youth and Community Center, one of the nonprofit agencies under contract with our office. They would be partnering with Lonnie, Los Angeles Neighborhood Initiative, to complete the projects. The council district or council office is currently working on locations at which the work will be performed, and we are asking board approval this morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Roch. Any questions? Commissioner Garcia, anything?
No questions.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Caloza.
Thank you, President James. I just had a quick question, Paul. Is KYCC the current provider for Council District 14, or do they have a different nonprofit that's assigned to them?
I didn't understand the question. Kevin, I hear
a little
better
louder.
from when you say it. Could you repeat the question?
Sure, I can repeat the question. Is this better?
I would try the. Yeah.
All right.
It does muffle it a bit.
I have a question about, is KYCC the nonprofit that is assigned to Council District 14 currently?
No, they're not. But they are a contractor that has performed this type of a work before. They've done similar projects along with Lonnie in some other council districts, including Council District 13 recently. And so that's why Koreatown Youth and Community Center was selected. The actual contractor in Council District 14, well, there's two of them. There's Gang Alternatives Program and Northeast Graffiti Busters, neither of which really has the particular expertise that would be required on this project.
Okay, and then who would actually be performing the sidewalk restoration service? Would it be directly KYCC, or would they be hiring a subcontractor to perform the work?
So some of the work would be performed by employees of KYCC, probably more along the lines of the planting and the beautification. Lonnie would be taking the lead on designing the projects and doing any construction work or anything like that. A lot of it has to do with once the council office comes back with the specific locations, and they'll then be able to determine exactly who can perform the work.
Okay, and then just last question for the record. So the subcontractors performing the actual construction services for the sidewalk repair, will they be given the same notices as if they were a direct contractor for the city, like all the other standard provisions that we would share with our construction contractors for sidewalk repair?
Can you repeat that? I had difficulty hearing the question.
Sure. Would the subcontractor that KYCC hires for the construction services for the sidewalk repair, would they be receiving the same notices and provisions that they would otherwise if they were a direct contractor? I'm asking more in terms of just quality assurance, knowing that they're doing the construction work through a nonprofit.
Yes. So if there is any other contractor hired, probably that would be through Lonnie, and they would be required to obtain any permits needed from Bureau of Engineering or Bureau of Street Services, and would be in complete compliance with any city standards that any other groups would need to take on when performing sidewalk repair work.
Okay, all right. Thank you for confirming.
Thank you, Commissioner Caloza. Commissioner Villegas, anything on number 5?
None, thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 5. Is there a second on number 5? By Commissioners Garcia and Davis. Any objection? Commissioner Villegas, are you okay with number 5? Commissioner Villegas on number 5. Okay. Then without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 5. Any issues sending 5 forthwith? We'll send number 5 forthwith. Let's go to agenda item number 11. Council District 7, contract acceptance, Harding Street Bridge, the Rock Slope Protection Project, recommending that the board accept the contract. Mr. Espindola on number 11.
Yes, good morning. George Espindola with the Bureau of Contract Administration. The Harding Street Bridge Rock Slope Protection Project was executed on July 18, 2017 to John S. Meek Company Incorporated in the amount of $583,600 with a contingency of $116,720, totaling $700,320. Notice to proceed was issued on July 18, 2017. This project consisted of repairing of the rock slope protection of the northwest and northeast wing walls that were heavily damaged during the 2015 rainstorms in CD7. 4 change orders were issued, decreasing the total contract amount by $183,349 with 46 cents, bringing the total cost of this contract to $403,000 $1,250 with 54 cents. Final corrections were completed on October 11, 2018. Funding was through Measure M, Local Return Fund, 206, Department 50. The contractor has complied with all the equal employment opportunities and labor compliance requirements of the contract. There are no unresolved property complaints or disputed funds.
Thank you, Mr. Espandola. Any questions at all? Commissioner Villegas?
No.
Thank you. Commissioner Garcia?
No questions.
Okay, seeing no questions in the room, I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 11, seconded by Commissioner Caloza and Commissioner Garcia. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 11. Thank you, Mr. Espandola.
Thank you.
Any issue sending number 11 forthwith? We'll send number 11 forthwith. That moves us to number 10, Council District number 8. Requested contract acceptance, Central Outfall Sewer Rehabilitation, Market Street to Slauson Avenue, and COS, Central Outfall Sewer at 59th Street and 4th Avenue. Recommending that the board first accept the contract. Secondly, assess JR Pipeline Incorporated with a penalty in the amount of $12,712.47 for the unauthorized subcontractor substitutions of 3 OBE subcontractors, and third, instruct the Director of the Office of Accounting to disencumber the recommended city penalty of $12,712.47 from the project fund. Ms. McGlinchey on number 10, are you available?
Yes, I am. Good morning. As you said, we are recommending a penalty of $12,712.47. The 3 subcontractors involved are Austin and Kalin Environmental Consultants. They were bid listed to perform industrial hygiene work worth $30,000. Staff confirmed that they only performed $2,400 worth of work. Therefore, a penalty in the amount of $3,000 may be assessed. McBratney Company was bid listed to perform shoring work for $91,845. Staff confirmed that they performed $71,903.88. So a penalty may be assessed in the amount of $9,184.50. And the last one is Rialto Concrete Products was bid listed to provide concrete pipe reinforcement for $5,279.70. Staff confirmed that Rialto provided $4,554.72 worth of concrete pipe reinforcement. Therefore, there may be a penalty assessed in the amount of $527.97. The contractor was informed of all 3 of these potential penalties. With regards to all 3, the contractor had responded to us that they acknowledge our penalty recommendations. Therefore, the sum of the 3 penalties is $12,712.47, which we are recommending be assessed. The contractor was made aware of the hearing and confirmed that they were not going to attend. Do you have any questions?
Well, thank you, Ms. McGlinchey. Just on that last point, the confirmation from JR Pipeline, the contractor, that they were not going to attend today's hearing was very recent, that confirmation. So they were aware of the hearing this morning and they elected not to attend, correct?
That is correct. They were aware of the brief of the hearing this morning, and they sent us an email this morning as well to confirm that they were not planning to attend.
Okay, thank you. Any questions, Commissioner Villegas?
No questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Garcia, any questions?
I do. Is this the first time that JR Pipeline has done any type of situation like this?
I can't say. I would have to look into that. Yes, I'm not sure.
Okay. That's okay. I was just wanting to know if this is something, a one-time deal, or this is something that has happened many times before.
I definitely would not say that it's something that's been recurring for them. I want to say that they have not had an issue before. I'm just not positive.
Okay, thank you, Linda, for that.
Thank you, Commissioner Garcia. No other questions on the queue. I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 10 as stated. Seconded by Commissioner Davis. Any objection? Without objection, we'll adopt. Commissioner Garcia, any objection?
No objections, it's fine.
Thank you. Commissioner Villegas?
No objections. It sounded like you said Commissioner Davis, so I was hesitant sometimes to say.
Commissioner Villegas,
Thank you.
no objection. So without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 10. Any issue sending number 10 forthwith? We'll send number 10 forthwith. Ms. McGlinchey, thank you. Agenda item number 7, contract award. Council Districts 1 and 14. This was an item that was continued from last week. Olympic Boulevard, Flower Street to Lake Street, Vision Zero STP Street Lighting Project. Recommending that the board deny the request from Elecnor Belco Electric Incorporated, the first low bidder, to withdraw their bid for the project as discussed in the report. Secondly, find Elecnor, the first low bidder, to be non-responsive as discussed in the report. Third, declare International Line Builders Incorporated the second low bidder to be the lowest responsible bidder, and award International Line Builders a contract in the amount of $847,354. Fourth, forward a copy of the report to the affected council district office, either 1 or 14 or both. And fifth, authorize the president or 2 members of the Board of Public Works to execute the contract after approval of all the required documents by the city attorney has been obtained. Mr. Nguyen, we have you. Dr. Campos, do we have anybody else in the queue before we go on to number 7?
Mr. President, Fernando Campos, Executive Officer, let me double check on the caller ending in 2161. I was reminded by someone to remind the callers to unmute themselves if they wish to speak, especially those that are calling in through the landline. Landline number 2161. Can you please unmute yourself?
Yes.
2161, do you have any commentary on item number 7? Landline ending in 2161. Any commentary on item number 7? Hearing none, Mr. President.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Nguyen.
Good morning, President James and Commissioners. I'm Vince Nguyen representing the Bureau of Street Lighting. This item is a contract award report for the Olympic Flower to Lake Street Lighting Project. This project will convert existing high voltage series street lighting circuits on Olympic between Flower and Lake to low voltage multiple circuits by replacing conduit, wires, and luminaires. There will be no pole replacement. Financing for this project is funded by the Public Works Trust Fund and later reimbursed by federal funds. Bids were received on November 13, 2019. The 2 lowest bids of the 6 bids received are from Elecnor and International Line Builders. Elecnor, the first low bidder, submitted a request to withdraw their bid, citing a clerical error in their bid. However, they submitted it after the deadline. Therefore, it's recommended that Elecnor's request be denied. Furthermore, Elecnor is signatures on the affidavit and bid bond, or submit the optional Board of Directors resolution of authority in lieu of a second signature. Elecnor did not provide either by the due date and they informed in writing that they did not wish to comply with this requirement. Therefore, BSL recommends that Alec North bid be deemed non-responsive. International Line Builders, the second low bidder, has complied with all of the contract requirements. Therefore, it's recommended that the board declare International Line Builders to be the lowest responsible bidder and award the contract for this project to International Line Builders. And that concludes my presentation, and I'm available for any questions.
Thank you. Commissioner Villegas, any follow-up or further questions?
No, I'm good. I'm really good. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And thank you, Mr. Nguyen. I don't have any further questions either on this item. Commissioner Davis.
Yeah, I remember the details of this from our last meeting, and I just want to confirm that contract administration had an opportunity to look at this item and that they agree with the decision that the department made on this, or the Bureau made on this. Mrs. McGlinchey still with us?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question, please? I can hardly hear you.
I had a question for Mrs. McGlinchey, provided that she's still here. I wanted to make sure she did get an opportunity to review the details of this particular motion and that she did agree with the decision that the Bureau has made. I know we discussed this in our last meeting, some of the issues that were raised and presented today, and I don't know if she got an opportunity to also see and be familiar with this.
Do we have Ms. McGlinchey still? My recollection.
Yes, I'm here.
There you are, Ms. McGlinchey. Did you hear Commissioner Davis's question?
I wasn't quite sure what he was referring to in terms of what I reviewed. We did, BCA did do a review of the both first and second low bidders. We found them both to be responsive with regards to the DBE requirements. I'm not sure if that is what Commissioner Davis is asking about.
I think he wants to make sure that BCA had a chance to look at this and to see if you guys have any objections.
I'm sorry, you kind of
I'll try again.
Faded in and out there.
Yeah. Did BCA, Ms. McGlinchey, have you all had a chance to review this board report? 2, if so, do you have any objections either way on the board moving forward?
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, yes, BCA did review it. We signed off on the board report. We had no objections to street lighting's recommendations. We support them.
Okay, great. Thank you for the clarification. Thank you, Commissioner Davis. Based on that, I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 7, seconded by Commissioner Davis, and by Commissioner Villegas, and by Commissioner Garcia. So without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 7. Any issues sending 7 forthwith? We'll send number 7 forthwith. Thank you, Mr. Nguyen and Ms. McGlinchey, for holding on for this item as well this morning. Moving to agenda item number 6. Mr. Roch is still with us. Agenda item number 6, requested contract amendment, Office of Community Beautification for graffiti abatement. This is for fiscal year 2019-2020. Mr. Roch can confirm this. However, this is something that we see each year as we get into the final quarter of the fiscal year, a number of these amendments before the end of the fiscal. So I'm going to go through some of them. There are a few of them, so bear with me. Contract, one moment. I have to get ready for this one. It's a longer one. Recommending that the board first authorize OCB to execute amendments to the contracts for a continuation of community beautification services as listed below. First, Central City Action Committee in the amount of $50,000 for graffiti removal services in portions of Council Districts 1 and 13. Second, Coalition for Responsible Community Development in the amount of $150,000 for graffiti removal services in portions of Council District 9. Third, Gang Alternatives Program in the amount of $200,000 for graffiti removal services in Council District 15, portions of CD Council Districts 8, 9, and 14, and untagged strike force services. Fourth, graffiti control systems in the amount of $75,000 for specialty graffiti removal services. Fifth, Hollywood Beautification Team in the amount of $175,000 for graffiti removal services in portions of Council Districts 4, 5, and 13. Sixth, Koreatown Youth and Community Center in the amount of $100,000 for graffiti removal services in portions of Council Districts 1 and 10. Seventh, Los Angeles Conservation Corps in the amount of $50,000 for graffiti removal services in portions of Council Districts 8 and 10. Eighth, New Directions for Youth in the amount of $100,000 for graffiti removal services in portions of Council Districts 2, 4, and 6. Ninth, Northwest Graffiti Busters in the amount of $175,000 for graffiti removal services in portions of Council Districts 1, 2, 6, 7, and 14. 10th, Pacific Graffiti Solutions in the amount of $125,000 for graffiti removal services in Council Districts 5 and 11. 11th, Sylmar Graffiti Busters in the amount of $75,000 for graffiti removal services in portions of Council Districts 7 and 12. And 12th, West Valley Alliance in the amount of $175,000 for graffiti removal services in Council District 3 and portions of Council Districts 2, 6, and 12. And finally, authorize the President or two members of the Board of Public Works to execute the contract amendments after approval as to form has been obtained by the City Attorney. Mr. Roch, on number 6.
Yes, good morning again. Paul Roch, Office of Community Beautification. These are funding requests to carry the graffiti abatement contractors through the end of the current year. OCB did receive a transfer of funds recently through the financial status report. Because the contractors for the period of July through November were having to pay the higher prevailing wage cost of $43 an hour for their field working crews, and they were initially funded when we went through the budget process last year at a rate of around $27 an hour. So we are currently now down to that general rate, but the first 5 months of the fiscal year, they were paying the higher prevailing wage rate primarily, unless they were able to get an exemption. And the commitment from the Budget and Finance Committee last year was that they would make up any difference, because they did want the crews out there working 100% capacity. And so this will make up that difference, allow OCB graffiti abatement to continue through the end of the current fiscal year. And we do request board approval to amend these existing contracts.
Thank you, Mr. Roch. Commissioner Garcia, any questions on number 7?
I do, Paul. I see that there's many different funding levels. What was the determination for that?
Well, it was two things. I mean, some of our contractors always have larger contracts anyway because of the areas they work in, or the geographic size, or just whether it's a high impact graffiti abatement area. So some of our contractors do have more crews, say like GAP, which works in Council District 8, Council District 14 and 15. Those are high impact areas, also geographically large areas. So they do have more crews than, say, Sylmar Graffiti Busters or some of the other smaller ones. And so because they have more crews, there's a larger amount that needs to be made up. So that was primarily it. Secondly, some of our contractors were able to get an exemption more than others by overseeing the work of community service workers, and so they weren't as impacted by the difference in the prevailing wage amount. So those were the two factors that came in as we were looking at the funding allocations.
Okay, thank you for that clarification, Paul.
of course.
Thank you, Commissioner Garcia. Commissioner Villegas, any questions?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Caloza.
Thank you, President James. And just to clarify the timing, Paul, so these additional funds will carry us over for the rest of the fiscal year?
Jessica, I'm sorry, it was a little hard to understand your question.
Yeah, I was.
Paul, so just to clarify the timeline, these new funds, these additional contract amendments will carry us over for the rest of the fiscal year?
Yeah, if I heard the question right, these funds are to get the contractors through the end of the current fiscal year, through June 30th.
That's correct. That's the question.
And then how this contract amendment lines up with the RFP that was approved a few weeks ago, where does that line up? And is this the last contract amendment that's going to come before the board, or will there be another need for that, depending on your timeline for the RFP?
So yeah, the RFP would be for any new contracts after the end of the current fiscal year. So beginning in fiscal year 2020-21, so after July. These funds would just be to get our current contractors through the end of June without any delays in service. The RFP that was approved by the board, I guess it was last week or week before, we'll be getting back those proposals in May, first week of May the 8th, and then, coming back to the board with funding recommendations, contractor recommendations for the upcoming fiscal year.
Okay, so just to confirm, this would be the last time we did a additional contract amendment for this now old contract that's in front of us today.
Could somebody repeat the question? I didn't quite get.
Sure.
I got about every other word.
So is this the last time that there will be a contract amendment with this old contract?
On these particular contracts, it very well could be the final time that they're amended, and that we would have new contracts in July, beginning in July of 2020.
Okay, thank you, Paul.
Thank you. Commissioner Davis.
Paul, I wanted to ask, in terms of the services provided for graffiti removal, have they been impacted, or maybe a better question is, how have they been impacted in the current environment in terms of service provided for graffiti removal? Do you know?
One more, it's hard to hear the people in the boardroom. I can hear everybody else really good.
Commissioner Davis, would you ask that one more time?
Okay, how has the graffiti removal services, service delivery for graffiti removal been impacted by this COVID-19 environment?
How is
so yeah, obviously the COVID-19 situation has impacted graffiti removal in a couple ways. Probably the most significant is because we are no longer able to utilize community service workers. Typically, the graffiti abatement contractors, when they would go out, they would have maybe 3 or 4 community service workers with them in their vehicle at the same time. So when they would go to a spot, you'd have 3 or 4 people that could knock all the graffiti out. Now, because of social distancing and safety requirements, they're pretty much going out with a single person per vehicle, not utilizing the community service workers. So it does make it more difficult. Obviously, we have found certain parts of the city, because they're very empty, the streets are very empty without a lot of people around, are tending to get tagged up on a much more frequent basis. We've gotten a number of requests of high priority graffiti from LAPD and from the mayor's office in the last week or so, primarily gang graffiti in certain areas. And we obviously do want to keep it down with the streets being empty. We don't want to make it look, like it's completely overrun with graffiti and other forms of urban blight that can obviously lead to other types of crime, and just create a sense that the neighborhoods are closed down and not open for business. So it is important. Our crews have been declared as an essential service. They are out doing the work, but at the same time needing to maintain their social distancing, and so it is a little bit more challenging.
Wow. I would have also thought that we would be able to expedite service, being as much that we don't have as many people in the way in terms of service delivery for this. But I do hear you that we've had an increase of graffiti. Therefore, it has made it a little bit more challenging. But thank you for that report.
Thank you, Mr. Commissioner Davis. Any further questions? I'll make a motion that we adopt agenda item number 6. Seconded by Commissioner Davis and Commissioner Caloza. Any objection, Commissioner Garcia? Oh, and Commissioner Garcia. Any objection, Commissioner Villegas?
No.
Okay. Then without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 6. Any issue sending 6 forthwith? We'll send number 6 forthwith. Thank you, Mr. Roch.
Okay.
That takes us to agenda item number 9. Dr. Campos, any callers in the queue remaining?
Yes, we still have the landline number ending in 2161. I forced unmute you just in case you want to make any commentary on item number
9.
Thank you, Mr. President. Caller ending in 2161. Caller ending in 2161. Any commentary on item number 9? Mr. President, hearing no commentary on item 9.
All right, thank you.
No.
So agenda item number 9, budget increase. The super expedited wastewater emergency rehabilitation for sewers project, that's the acronym for sewers, recommending that the board first authorize an increase in the cost ceiling from $30 million to $43 million with no change to the other terms and conditions of the existing contract. So this is an increase in the cost ceiling, and Mr. Tolles from engineering will tell us what's going on here.
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Ryan Tolles from the Bureau of Engineering, Wastewater Conveyance Construction Division. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, great. So this report is requesting an increase in the budget ceiling of the Sewer 6 contract from $30 million to $43 million. For some background, SEWER stands for Super Expedited Wastewater Emergency Rehabilitation for Sewers. It is a contract managed by the Bureau of Engineering and allows for streamlined completion of urgent necessity sewer repairs that are identified by LA Sanitation. Urgent necessity repairs are typically needed to provide uninterrupted service, reduce the potential for sewer spills, protect the public and private property, and ensure general public health and safety. Under the sewers contract, projects typically take 90 to 120 days to complete the physical work using pre-established bid items. The capital improvement alternative can take several years to complete a project, and projects are typically at a larger scale. The sewers contract was first established in 2003 and is a proven cost-effective method for completing urgent necessity sewer repairs. The current Sewer 6 contract is the 6th iteration. Bureau of Engineering is currently working on establishing the 7th sewer contract and expects to have it completed by June of 2021. The requested $13 million budget increase is required to maintain this sewer repair delivery method until the new contract is established due to a projected budget shortfall. BOE and LA San identified 2 primary reasons for the shortfall. The first one is several capital improvement projects have been deferred, and repairs that would have normally been completed by capital projects have migrated over to the sewers contract. The associated capital budgets did not come along with those projects. And the second reason is there's an approximately 30% increase in LA sanitation work requests and 40% increase in reach miles rehabilitated when compared to the same period of the previous contract. This is primarily due to LA Sanitation's extensive sewer assessment and cleaning program. Simply stated, the more sewers they clean, the more damage is identified, resulting in more repair requests and length of sewer rehabilitated. I'd also like to provide a brief overview of the budget projection. As of the writing of the report, approximately $21.5 million of the $30 million budget has been allocated. Approximately 238 projects were pending issuance, estimated at $9.7 million, resulting in a projected budget shortfall of negative $1.2 million. The estimated monthly amount of projects issued is $620,000 per month, and there are 19 months before the new contract is established. So $600,000 per month times 19 months is approximately $11.8 million, plus the shortfall for the existing projects of $1.2 million results in roughly $13 million. The sewers contract is exempt from the business inclusion program. However, local business preferences was used when establishing the contract, and funding for this request was approved by PRC, the Program Review Committee, January of this year. I'm here to answer any questions you may have regarding the report.
Thank you, Mr. Tolles. Very helpful as always. The presentation that you just gave, the first 3 quarters of it basically also provided the explanation as to how engineering reached the $13 million number. Is that a fair assessment?
Yes, I just provided a brief overview. There's a lot more details that I can get into, but this is a brief overview of how the overall projection shortfall was estimated, yes.
All right, thank you. Commissioner Davis.
I definitely hear the numbers in terms of the 13 million, and I think you've explained it very clearly in terms of where we are. However, what I want to do is to challenge moving forward our vision. Time and again, we know, time and again, in discussing the issue about sewer work, we know that it is exempt from inclusion program. And on occasion, I often say that I hope that we find some way in the future in which we can look at the potential for developing some kind of training so that as we look at these millions of dollars that are necessary for us to maintain our sewers, we can perhaps start to look at ways in which we can create opportunities for others to also be included in the work that we do in sewers. And so as I look at this and certainly support it, I'm hoping, Ryan, that moving forward we can think of some kind of ways in which there might be some training programs in the future to where we can eventually increase the number of people from the different places in the city that might have an opportunity to work with our existing primes in doing this work. So I do support this motion, and I would be remiss not to mention moving forward us to expand our vision in looking at sewer work and what it means to our contracting community here in this city.
Thank you, Commissioner Davis. I'll take that as a second to my motion when I make it. Commissioner Villegas, any questions on this agenda item?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Garcia on number 9?
No, no questions.
All right, thank you. Seeing no other further questions, that's my motion, seconded by Commissioner Davis. Any objection? Without objection, Commissioner Garcia, you're good? Okay, Commissioner Villegas, no objection? Okay, then without objection, we'll adopt agenda item number 9. Any issue sending number 9 forthwith? We'll send number 9 forthwith. Thank you, Mr. Tolles. Dr. Campos, have we cleared the desk?
Yes, you have.
Commissioner Davis, do you have an adjourning motion today?
Yes, sir, I do. Today, I would like to adjourn in the memory of one of the residents of Los Angeles, Roland Wirt, who was 68 years old, who moved here many years ago from Memphis, but lived the majority of his adult life here in the city of Los Angeles, and served as an entertainment promoter and was very involved at various special events involving many of our individuals from the entertainment community, both musicians and actors, but promoting special events including some of the various night spots in the city, including activities at the Hollywood Athletic Club, one of the rhythm and blues clubs, Maverick Flats, Atlas Bar and Grill, the Golden Tail, and many other establishments here in the city of Los Angeles. Roland enjoyed a relationship with many of our recording artists here in the city, and he had been sick with a heart ailment, not related to COVID at all, but that on yesterday morning, he was at home and his heart, even though he was on a monitor, gave out on him. Again, he was 68 years old, and just as recent as this past February, he was able to attend the African American Heritage Month project that Mayor Garcetti and our city council members, our Author Study Club, and others hosted here in the city with recording artist Jeffrey Osborne and, of course, Tiffany Haddish. And he was definitely a person who attended many of the projects that we have here in City Hall, very supportive of elected officials, many of those council members, including Council Member Harris Dawson, Council President Herb Wesson, and Councilman Kern Price, frequented their areas, involved in programs and entertainment and social events in their communities, as well as he was a supporter of Mayor Eric Garcetti as well on many of the public social event fronts. So he leaves to cherish his memory, his wife of at least 10 years, and we will sorely miss Roland and his contribution to the entertainment and enjoyment of the young adult community in Los Angeles and his work with our creative community. So, Mr. President and members of the Board of Public Works, I adjourn this meeting to the memory of great Los Angelenos who contributed to our social life, Roland Lavelle Work. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Davis. And we adjourn in his honor. Let me just announce for this week, we will have a, first of all, I want to thank the team from ITA that so consistently help us, as well as our board secretariat office, our executive office, and our agenda team in keeping our meetings going through this challenging time in the city. We will have a necessity to have a meeting this Friday, which will be April the 17th, and that will be at 1:30 p.m. There is at least one sanitation item that has to be heard this Friday, so we'll have a meeting at 1:30 p.m. on Friday, April 17th. Thank you, and we are hereby adjourned. The time is 11:41.